Good morning, everybody, and welcome all those superstars and rock stars following and Move, Think, Smile in our Burnout to Badass, the fatigue-free professional group. Elea and Adam coming out here you live on this wonderful Labor Day weekend, but wonderful does mean what part of the country you're in. There is an impending hurricane down in the southeast, and
Yeah.
it's either going to take out Florida or they're talking about it maybe coming taking out us. So regardless, we've got a holiday weekend here. And I don't know if you guys saw earlier this week, but we announced something very special. And Ellie and I have made ourselves available on our team to, basically allow ourselves to be available to you guys to chat about, burnout and stress and stuff like that during the holiday weekend. And the reason that we've decided to do this, and this is something that we battled over and over again, and it's something that we realized, and that is, that we started asking the question, does stress really take a vacation when you do?
Yeah.
And the answer is well, the short answer is no, it doesn't. In light of the fact that if you type in the word, how to de-stress or how to beat fatigue or how to do burnout, and literally if you utter the word, I'm feeling a little stressed out, I'm feeling burned out, the first advice people are going to give you almost religiously is going to say, hey man, you just need to get a couple of days off. You just need to have some downtime. You just need to take a vacation. But I can't tell you how often it just doesn't work. It sounds like a great idea and it makes logical sense, but it doesn't work. In fact, it didn't work for Elea or I. I remember we would come around holiday times when we had our businesses before and we were dealing with stress and burnout, and we would get there and it would be like, all right, this is going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I'm going to be able to chill back. I'm going to rest. I'm going to sleep in. And yeah, I did get some more sleep, but I still felt blah the next day. And then I would usually, for me, I would use a lot of distractions. Like, okay, this is time. I get to go hang out with the friends, the family, the barbecues, get out there and have a lot of fun. And I did those things, and I didn't really have as much fun as I wanted to. And then I would wake up on Tuesday after a long weekend and just be mad because I was back right to where I was. So how come is it, when you go to take a vacation, stress doesn't just work? And another great example, Elias, is a call I recently had. This guy was literally coming back on the plane from Hawaii after 2 weeks in Hawaii, found us and he booked a call with us. And I was chatting with him when he got back, and I'm like, what happened? He's a middle-aged business owner. He's got a pretty large automotive business out in the Midwest. And, he's telling me that his business is struggling. And, his reason is because, I just can't find quality talent. It's my employees. I just can't find quality talent. And I said, has it ever crossed your mind that, employees don't quit a company, they quit their boss? And he didn't really like that at first, but then he started to realize that, oh, wow, I'm starting to get it. And so after 2 weeks of being in Hawaii, I said, hey man, so, was it just a shitty vacation? That happens sometimes. You get to the vacation and it rains for 2 weeks. I remember Ellie and I, we actually did a retreat down to Baja when we were in the Red Bull action sport days for kiteboarding, right? And we never unpacked our gear because the conditions were such crap. And we were down there in the middle of nowhere, coastal Baja, Mexico, which if you've never been there, it's a giant desert with just mountains. There's not a whole lot of going on. And there's no restaurants to go to. There's really no bars to go to. There's just really nothing to do. And we came back from that, and that was downtime. All we did, we sat in a hot tub, we sat lay around the pool, we got tans, we ate a lot of avocados, we had some cervezas down by the water, we had a bunch of social stuff, but we came back and we just weren't feeling good. So you can go on vacation and it can be crappy, and I get that. But this guy had gone down to Hawaii. He's like, man, we had all expense paid to an inclusive resort. It was a beautiful beach. I was able to just chill and lay out there. The weather was beautiful the entire time. Did some snorkeling, kind of hiked around a volcano. Didn't really do as much as I wanted to. Got a lot of sleep. I'm like, dude, why are we talking? He's like, because I'm still burning out. I did what everybody said to do. I went down there. I took my vacation. I got my downtime, and I still feel like crap when I'm coming home. I've got a lot of fatigue going on. I'm still tired. I don't really feel like I got rested. I don't really feel like I am, I'm still fat. Basically what he says, I'm still dealing with weight gain. And he said more than anything, the burnout's chasing me down, and I've just got a ton of anxiety because, and he's like, and I just don't understand it. I spent all this time and this money and all this kind of stuff, and I should feel better, but I don't. And Elia, when I turn it over to you, because I've been talking for a minute, why is that? Why? The question is, does stress take a vacation when you do?
Yeah, so it does not. And I want to jump in with just, again, if you're wondering if you're burnt out, this is actually one of my own classic designations of whether you're burnt out or not. And that is a vacation doesn't fix it, right? A couple of days off on the weekend doesn't fix it. Even 2 weeks in Hawaii doesn't fix it, right? When I was in the worst of my burnout, I realized it was like, yeah, 2 weeks isn't going to fix this. Even months isn't going to fix this. Like, I just need to check out. Like, I wanted like a year off. And when I realized that, I was like, there's something wrong here. So
Yeah.
it's really important to understand this is also a really good cue that you need to start taking some action if it feels like, yeah, I'm going to Hawaii for 2 weeks and you come back feeling worse than when you left or no more, energized. It's time to, address that for sure.
So basically what we've come up with is we've discovered there's 3 reasons why burnout doesn't go on vacation when you do, why stress doesn't go on vacation when you do. And the first reason is your cup is full.
Yeah.
And Ellie, I'm going to let you do a really good job of explaining this.
Yeah. So basically, you're facing physical and mental fatigue. And I want to say that when you're exhausted, there's a strange thing that happens. You feel like you're empty, but the truth is you're full of doingness. Your cup is completely full, right? It's spilling over. And what you need is rest, because rest really helps empty you out. Now, most people think I'm going to go on vacation to rest, but most people, that is not actually what happens. Plus, they're not really taking the time to empty their cup. They're on vacation and they're thinking about all the stuff at work that could go wrong, that might go wrong, what they'll have to do when they get back. And, there's a real difference between resting in a lounge chair next to the beach on vacation and truly emptying yourself of stress.
Yeah. Okay. Right? So guys, Ellie, I just want to, guys, just pay attention to this. You're full of doingness. Mm-hmm. Your cup is full. There's no more room for anything else. You've literally got to empty your cup. And please do not take, when Ellie says rest, she does not mean vacation. She does not mean a few days off. She doesn't mean taking a sabbatical. She means you've got to empty your cup of what's in it now so you can fill it up with stuff that you want. Does that make sense?
And that's so, so important too, Adam. And I think, again, I want to repeat this idea because it really shifts your perspective that when you're exhausted, you're not actually empty, you're too full, right? So this is a little bit different perspective shift, but it's so, so important to understand, because at one point I remember actually when I was in my coaching training, I think it was one of my instructors said, do you want to be a human doing or a human being? Because we were talking about how the speed of life, how it just, I was talking about how I just felt like I could just never be, like I just had to run all the time. And that little shift really stopped me in my tracks because I thought, oh my God, like I am just a human doing. And it's not like I'm ever going to get to the end of my to-do list. I'm never going to get it all done.
Right.
Right?
Right. And so, guys, that's number one. The reason when you go on vacation or you have a 3-day long weekend like Labor Day weekend is your cup is full.
Yep.
And you've got to learn how to empty that cup. You've got to get the doingness out of there. So even though your body is taking a vacation, your mind is not. Even though you think you are. And we've talked about this before. It's, emotional addiction. It's, your body just gets addicted to those chemicals and looks for things to reaffirm. So even if you're in Hawaii for 2 weeks, it's going, oh man, I miss, feeling angry at 8 a.m. every day when I walk into the door of my business because the employees suck, So I've got to somehow reaffirm that. And then what ends up happening is you start getting, you start kind of actually getting worried that how come this vacation isn't working? It's like the guy I just talked to, and the anxiety that he's dealing. It's like, I'm not better. And so now anxiety is setting in, and then he's angry, and then it's just this big cycle. So you've got to learn how to empty your cup. The second reason why
real quick before you go to the second one, I also want to add the cycle that you just talked about. There's also guilt, right? Because you're in Hawaii and you're like, I should be loving this. I should be feeling amazing.
Right.
And so, we want you guys to understand that there's a whole mix of stuff that happens in there. And if you recognize that, again, really great steps. We're going to move on. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry, to
Yeah.
the second
No, that's
step.
all right. No, it's guilt. It's guilt. It really comes down to, all negative emotion is rooted in one of two things, or it's actually one thing. It's basically blame. And you're either blaming other people for things or you're blaming yourself, which is known as guilt. So that's where all negative emotion almost comes from, right? But the second reason that stress does not go on vacation when you do is because there's a lack of connection. And Ellie, I'm going to let you start off on this one again because, again, you're really good at explaining this.
So this one really comes from, are you connected to the material world and your stuff and the accomplishments, or are you connected to what's happening inside your heart? And this is really about, a spiritual connection. This is about a connection to yourself, because absolutely when your cup is full, when you're going a million miles an hour, it's really tough to know what's actually happening within you. You're just like in a robot stage, right? You're executing your life, but you're not living your life. And so you've lost connection with you, what makes you happy, what fills you up. And so you've really got to get that connection back. And again, you don't have to go to Hawaii to get that connection. And for a lot of people, they just get sidetracked when they go to Hawaii and still don't get connected.
Well, this is almost like saying you're living externally, right? You're not living internally. So when you rely on everything outside of you to determine where you're at, you're not living internally. And when you're not living internally, it's a lack of connection. And then all kinds of things start happening because you got this negative emotions and it triggers the amygdala, which triggers a stress response, which actually tells your cells, hey, there's danger out there when there's really not danger out there. Your cells go, oh my God, we need to shut down the power so our resources don't get robbed. And then you start dealing with problems. And it starts usually with being a little tired, a little fatigued, a little stressed out. And then of course that manifests into all kinds of, health problems depending on your genetic code. Yeah. Right. That's why that's why, stress doesn't affect, two people in the same way, and even men and women are different. Like for guys, you'll typically see weight gain and backaches and muscle problems. And then in women, and it's typical, it's not always the case. In women, you'll typically see a weight loss due to a lot of anxiety, or you'll see, weight gain with knee problems. And it's really interesting. I talked to a woman the other day who had gained a bunch of weight, and she, was just dealing with a bunch of stuff, and it can't make any forward progress in, her career. And it's just like she's just lost this lack of connection.
Yeah. And I think what's really important too is, I talk to a lot of people when I ask them if they have a spiritual practice, because again, I'm referring to this because I feel like it's one of the easiest ways for people to get connected with themselves and back to their heart. But people will say, yes, I have a spiritual practice, but what's happening is it's kind of like the old thing of they go to church on Sunday, right? But then the rest of the week, there's no connection.
Yeah,
or you might, what I see a lot too is, a lot of people do meditation in the morning, right? Which again, really helps them get connected. But then by the end of the day, they're completely stressed. So what's important is, are you actually bringing the spiritual practice into each moment of the day? Right? Because you can't just sit on your meditation cushion and feel at peace, but then go out and feel like you have to fight the entire day.
Now,
right?
I do want to jump in here, Elea, because when you start uttering the word spiritual, even I still go, bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when what Ellie means by spiritual is like, have you found your purpose? Do you feel connected to what you're doing? Are you happy? And when she talks about, there's 168 hours that each of us has in a week. And if you're like a lot of people in America, and especially in the Southeast, you go to church on Sunday morning for an hour, where do you spend the other 167 hours during the week? If you do 10 minutes of meditation in the morning, where do you spend the other 23 hours and 50 minutes? And
are you taking any of that with you?
Yeah. And this is why church isn't working for people. A religion isn't working for people. This is why, doing meditation, I mean, they do it, right? And have great intention with it, but they still walk away stressed. So they go on vacation. We got a holiday weekend here, Labor Day, and a lot of people are going to get out there and they have only 3 days, right? Which really is not a lot of time. And so they're trying to pack in all the other stuff. The kids just got back into school. So if you're a parent, you're kind of running around. You're like, okay, it's great. Let's have this summer bash. So now you're stressed out. Got to get to the grocery store. Got to get the hamburgers. Got to get the hot dogs. Got to get whatever it is for the barbecue, the cousins are coming over, or the friends are coming over. I'm going to the friends. Okay, what kind of bottle of wine do they like? I got to take that. I don't know what kind they like. Should I get one? Should I get two? I don't know. What kind of food are they going to have there? What else should I take? It's like, it just becomes this freaking stressful mess, which should be an amazing vacation. And so you distract yourself the entire weekend, which, lack of connection is basically another way of saying you're distracting yourself.
Yeah.
And so then you get to the party and then you like numb out and you like block off and you put stress in this giant box and you try to shove it behind you. Meanwhile, it's crawling up your back the entire time that you're at the party. And you're like, damn it, God, give me scotch. I'm going in. I'm going in deep. And then you don't sleep well that night. Then you wake up on Monday, whether you drink or not, but then you wake up on Monday, you're like, oh man, like I'm tired. I got to go back to work tomorrow. What can I do today to move forward? And so, guys, that's really where the lack of connection comes in.
Yeah.
And number 3, it's another lack. It's lack of congruence.
Yeah.
And so this is a third reason why stress does not go on vacation when you do, because what you're telling yourself on the inside is not reflecting the actions that you're actually doing. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Elea?
Yeah, it does. Because your outside intention is to take a vacation and to rest and relax and have fun. But what's happening internally is that you're stuffing the stress and you're trying to keep all those worries and that nag pushed away, as you said, in a box behind you. But again, because you haven't done anything with it, you can't, again, there's that misalignment, right? Incongruence.
Right. And I think the reason that in society, you have incongruence is, well, you've been trained by society. Mm-hmm. We keep being trained over and over and over again. And right before we got on here, I actually went and Googled why vacations don't work. Mm-hmm. And if you use Chrome or Safari or some of those ones, you get nothing. Like I went through like 10 pages and I finally went into Internet Explorer. For some reason, it popped up some stuff. There was I found like one tiny little article, one. Mm-hmm. So the cool thing is someone else out there is recognizing, this was in the Huffington Post. So it's a legit person and they're kind of saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so guys, we're being taught over and over again. It's like, just have some downtime, take a couple days off. I know in a lot of our posts when we talk about burnout and stress, like people will comment, it's like, just take a couple days off. It's like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It sounds great. And thank you for giving me the same suggestion that everybody on the friggin' planet is telling me to do. But how come I feel like crap still? How come I feel like I'm not making forward progress in my life? How come I feel like I've done all this work and things are just more stressful and less rewarding than I planned? Like, why am I in my 40s, my 50s, or even my 60s now? And like, this is not what I planned.
Yeah. And I think, a great example of this, of what we're talking about is, say, of course, everyone knows how amazing gratitude is for you. But when you're burnt out, I know for me and quite a few people that I've talked to, I tried to keep up a gratitude practice, but my gratitude practice kind of seemed like this. It's like, okay, I'm thankful for my house. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for the car. I'm thankful, I'm saying it, but I'm saying it in a way that's just like not grateful. And like, I'm kind of irritated and it's like, I'm just trying to get the gratitude done, right? Because I think if I do it, it's going to be better. So there's a huge difference between that and actually being in gratitude, right? So not just doing gratitude, not just making a list, but actually feeling grateful. So I see this a lot too with people that I talk to. It's like, well, I'm really grateful about this, that, blah, 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 blah. But they're so tense when they say it that, they're not actually feeling gratitude.
That's the lack of congruence. And like I said, it's we're being taught by our society. And, I love the internet. I'll be honest. I like it. But the problem with the internet is it gives you the ability to reaffirm shit that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Because the first thing you type in is going to be the stuff that everybody's been saying forever. It's like, okay, I'm fatigued. Here's my one of my favorites, and I don't know if you guys have heard this one or not, but it still blows my mind to this day. It's like, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, all you have to do is exercise more and eat less and cut your calories, have a calorie deficit. That is farther from the truth. Like that's not how to lose weight. This is why we have if that was the magic pill, we wouldn't have an obesity problem in America or in the world for sure. Right. Yeah. Another one is, like I said, I'm feeling stressed out. I'm feeling burned out. I'm tired. Just take a vacation. It doesn't work. It does not work. When you're in that state and you come back from the vacation, you still have to deal with the same stuff that you left. Even a sabbatical does
Yeah.
not work.
I think what's important here too is why it's important not to do it alone, right? So, I mean, as you know, people who've been following us know, we built a program around helping people, get out of burnout and fatigue. But the thing is like the suggestions that Adam is talking about, these are so high level that you can apply them, but your results are going to be like just so minimal, if even any, because again, it's much more complex. It's much deeper than that, right?
You're right.
And you can't just kind of take that Band-Aid approach and think that that's gonna fix you. It's like really getting down to exactly, as you said, your unique process for getting out of burnout. And it's much, I'm not going to say it's super complicated, but it is more complicated and requires more attention to specifically what's going to work for you than just the generic advice, right?
Right. Well, there's one word for that. It's called bio-individuality. And that is, following generic advice just does not work. I mean, we all have different environments. We all have different habitats. We all have different genetics. We all have different just stuff that we have to deal with. And this is why the generic advice of, just get more exercise, eat well, drink more water, take a vacation, just get more sleep just doesn't work for people. Oh, if I just change my supplement, if I just start taking this, I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to who are like eat better than I do.
Yeah.
They do. They eat, like, I eat pretty well, but they eat way better than I do. Like way, like they won't even walk into a store unless the entire thing's been fumigated with, organic stuff. And it's crazy. So lack of congruence is basically here's the way to put it. We can move on. And that is, there are things you want to do, but you're not doing them.
Yeah.
You want to do them. You should be doing them, but you're just not. There's things that you do that you wish you didn't do, but you just can't stop. What you want on the inside and who you want to be, and at the deep root of your core, how energetic and badass you can feel, but you just can't get there because you don't know what's working. And that's why stress does not take a vacation when you do. And it's that lack of congruence. So guys, if any of this stuff is resonating with you, we don't want to take up too much of your time today. It's a holiday weekend, and we have made ourselves available this weekend because we took so many vacations so many times, and actually didn't take vacations a lot of times, actually bypassed and sacrificed time with our own friends and family, in pursuit of, I don't even remember why we did that. I guess it was for the business or for growth or whatever it is. And all it did was left us in a pile of melting burnout.
Yep.
And so guys, come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk. And if you can just give yourself, you've got this weekend off, at least most people do. All you're going to need is 45 to 60 minutes. Give yourself permission to actually say, is my strategy really working? Is my lifestyle really working? I've tried all this stuff, and it's just not working. And if you're just sick and tired of being tired, if you're sick and tired of your health, going down the toilet faster than it should be, if you really feel like you're getting older faster than you should be, if your business could light up and accelerate, or your career could light up and accelerate, if you just had, better energy about you, if you were waking up with a joy and a smile on your heart every day, if you emptied your cup and you filled it up with the good stuff, if you got that connection to your purpose and your heart, right? And you started doing the things that you want to be that actually fed who you want to be, then come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk. Get on the calendar and chat with us. We've made today, Saturday, open, Sunday and Monday, including next week. So we are open. People have already started booking calls, which has been absolutely amazing. I'm glad you guys are taking us up on this offer, because it is our gift to you. And I want you to know, because we're doing this because we know how much it sucks. We have been in your shoes.
Yes.
To have a vacation, to have some time off, and to sit around going, how come I'm not happy? How come everybody else is happy? Or I have to force my happiness. Or I have to force my happiness by either faking it, overeating, over drinking, whatever your thing is, whatever you got to do. So guys, if you'd like to have a free breakthrough session, chat with us, 45 to 60 minutes long, come on over to movethinksmile.com/talk. And, we're here. I think that's all I got. Elea, any parting shots?
No, that's it. I think, again, guys, just, really, like I said, ask yourself, are vacations and time off really helping you? And if they're not, then that is a big glaring warning sign that it's time to take some action and time to change, because this life is precious and it's short, and it's too short to live burned out, exhausted, and not experiencing life the
Right.
way you want to.
And I do want to throw something else in there. And that is
Yeah.
when you're dealing with fatigue and burnout and stress and health problems, all that kind of stuff, your intention is that you want to make the world a better place by focusing all of your efforts on serving other people. But when you get to this space, which right now we know 75% of America is in, you're
Mm-hmm.
sucking the energy from the room,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're not benefiting people out there. You're actually causing distress to the other people in your life. And they will either start avoiding you or they'll start picking up on your habits. So you're training them, especially if you're in a marriage and especially if you've got kids. You're going to
Yeah.
train them on the wrong way to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
So guys, come on over, take the time this weekend. Just say, hey, everybody, I'll be back to the event in an hour, hour and a half or whatever. Book a call and let's chat soon.